Hey guys, Constance here. So, I have a package here. This is an order I made for a kitchen light. So I have talked about finishing up the kitchen in here and that I needed to get a light that would replace the overhead LED light that is up here. And I have been looking and looking and looking, and I finally decided what I was going to get to put up here in the kitchen. Now, as you can see behind me, I have my wood beam rustic light fixture that I made, and then I have that antique hobnail milk glass fixture that I got from an antique shop, which is going to go over the kitchen sink. But I needed something that would go in the middle of the kitchen ceiling. So I didn't want to get something that would really draw a lot of attention to itself, because I would never find a light that would match this or match the hobnail. And so I decided I just wanted to go with something a little bit neutral. And I went through I don't know how many pages of lighting fixtures. I was all over Wayfair, I went through Amazon, I have Pinterest boards, I mean, you name it, I've probably looked at it. So ultimately I ended up deciding to go with a very basic, very nondescript glass globe sort of light, because I really just want it to kind of blend into the ceiling and not really draw a lot of attention to itself, because I've already got two visually beautiful attention grabbing lights. And so I wanted something that would sort of vanish into the ceiling, and so that is what I ultimately ended up going with. It's nothing beautiful, it's nothing to make you go, wow, I want that in my kitchen. It's just a basic light. So that is what came in the mail today. I just wanted, like I said, I wanted something that just sort of blended into the ceiling, wouldn't draw a lot of attention to itself, but I did want it to hold at least 3 light bulbs, because with all of the photography and such that I do here in the kitchen, I do need plenty of light. And so I figured a 3 bulb light would be ideal for what I needed. All right. So here's the base that attaches to the ceiling. Nothing fancy. And then it has the mount for holding 3 light bulbs. And then it'll simply be covered with a glass globe. And this is the globe that I decided to go with. Again, very nondescript, basic, and all that good stuff. So there it is. Nothing fancy. So I'm about to go out and collect eggs. It's a little gusty again today, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me. I figured I'd take y'all out with me through the mud. Hello. What are you doing? Oh, I know. Oh, I know. My goodness gracious. I know. Got 4 eggs. 4 eggs. I know. Yep, I'm taking them. I'm taking them. Go on. Go get some food, girl. Those silkies are still broody. It is ridiculous. bad. Got 6 full-sized eggs and 1 bantam egg today, which is pretty good for winter. So we have 18 laying hens. However, a lot of them don't actually lay anymore. They're just older. We got some of them the month that Mr. Smith and I moved into this house. Those of you who are new to my channel, the first year here on the homestead, it was just me and my son. And Mr. Smith was a government contractor overseas for a year. And so he was in another country the first year that we were here on the homestead. And so the first year I was here is when some of those chickens came to live with us. So they're just kind of living out their days. And I know a lot of people, when they have chickens that stop laying for age reasons, that's when they put them in the stew pot. But I figure there's not that many of them, and since they free roam on the property, I don't have to feed them a whole lot. So yeah, we just let them live out their days here at A Good Life Farm. So I'm gonna go over here and check on the bantams in the garden. I have to move their old house because their old house is still inside the fence. And the first night they went up in the doghouse on their own. And every night since then I've had to take them out of the old broken house. Well, it wasn't old, it was new, but the storm smashed it. But they're still going in there, so every night I've got to go in there and pull them out and put them in the doghouse and close it up. So I am going to check for eggs, and I'm going to remove the broken bantam house. You coming to join me there, Stump? Hi, baby. So you can see where the door got broken completely off. The hinges were ripped apart. And then the whole side of the house was basically pulled off. So there's no, I mean, yeah. There's no saving this. Hi, Stamper. Hi, baby. So here is the old okra pods. You can still see the seeds in there. Look at that. Look at all those seeds. So I'm sure there'll be some volunteer okra plants trying to come up here. Hi, Stump. Ah, baby. Oh. So I just got done brewing an afternoon pot of coffee, and I've got a mug here that I'm sipping on. So I have a few minutes before I head out the door. I will be on my way to the airport. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere, at least not yet. I am on my way, or I will be on my way, to pick up Mr. Smith. He has been out of town this week. He went on a trip to a place that is very near and dear to my heart. If you've been around my channel a little while, you know there is a place that I love dearly, Alaska. Those of you who are new around here, Mr. Smith and I used to live in Alaska with our children. We were up there for almost 3 years. Absolutely loved it. Almost stayed up there forever. And while we planted roots here in northern Alabama and we love it and we don't have any regrets, there will always be a piece of my heart up there buried in the snow because I loved living up there. So Mr. Smith just went on a business trip up there. It's his second trip to Alaska since he's worked for this company. And maybe one of these days I'll be able to join him on that trip and tag along and have a little piece of my Alaska once again. But while I am waiting to go to the airport, I just wanted to check in with you guys and share a couple of things that I have been getting asked about and just talk about that for a minute. So first of all, there's the light over my kitchen table, and it is the kind of rustic light that's made out of the wooden beam. I have been asked a couple of times now if there is a video showing how I put that light together. And I made that light, I kind of built that light when we first moved in here, so that was about 3 years ago. And I had a YouTube channel at that time, but I don't think that I did a video actually explaining how I really put it together. I do know that there's at least one video of me working on it, but I don't know exactly how much I explained. Now, also at that time, I do remember taking photos of the process because I had actually intended on doing a tutorial blog post on cosmopolitancornbread.com to explain how to build one of these lights, and I never got around to it, but I'm pretty sure I still have the photos on one of my external hard drives. So what I will do, because I've had a number of people now ask me about this light, is I will look in my hard drives and I will see if I can find those photos and the video where I was working on it, and then I will make a tutorial video and explain exactly how I built this light and how you could build one yourself if you are interested in having a light like the one that I have here over the kitchen table. Another question that I have been getting asked about by a couple of people now is about the raised beds that I have here in the garden, as well as the ones that I will be building. It has been requested that I do a video explaining how I built the raised beds, as well as how I filled these raised beds. And I know I've talked about it here and there, but I know I've not done a dedicated video on how I built them and how I filled them. So as I go through the process here in the next few weeks and I begin building more raised beds, I will be sure to film the process so that I can then put together a tutorial video and explain exactly how I built my raised beds and how I filled them. Not everybody does it the same way, but the way that I did it worked for me, and that is how I intend to do all of my raised beds down through the future, and so I will definitely share that process with all of you. So I mentioned in my video the other day where I talked about the farmhouse kitchen stuff that I've been doing, that I was going to be working on getting this done before garden season comes. And I have been watching the weather, and this weekend it looks like the rain is finally supposed to go away. If you saw my Instagram, The other day I showed a video clip of me walking through water, and there's water everywhere. So I am relieved that the rain is finally going away. The weatherman said that there will be very little rain between this weekend and the whole rest of the month. So things are definitely looking up, and I will be going to get all of the supplies and bring it all here so that I can finish up this kitchen. And I'm very excited. I will be so happy to have everything finished here and have the whole renovation done. So it's been a long time coming. When you have a homestead, you always have a really big project list, and things get moved around, they get reprioritized, and the things you want to have done right away get moved back behind the things that have to get done right away. So the kitchen was one of those wants, and yeah. So that is it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, finish up my cup of coffee, and then head to the airport to pick up Mr. Smith and see what he brought me back from Alaska. So thanks for joining me here for a cup of coffee in the kitchen, and I will talk to y'all next time. Hello. Welcome back.